Everyone, to stick with us versus herd. If it's your first time here, you like the content, hit subscribe. If you want to get notifications from when we go live, tap the bell. And if you want to join the UVH fam, our community, links are below to our Discord, our Facebook group, along with our Patreon. What I want to talk today is making consistent profits on Robinhood. I know a lot of people still trade on Robinhood. Robinhood is not my main broker, but I have been making some trades on there and having consistent profits. I mostly trade with TD Ameritrade and Tastyworks, but for Robinhood, I'm probably gonna get some flack for this, and I know that this is my opinion, 100% my opinion at all, and it's always good to fact check and do your own due diligence and go with what works for you. But what works for me, making consistent trades, is what we're going to talk about. And the one thing that I want to point out with Robinhood is it's not the fastest platform. So knowing that it's not the fastest platform, what things are what can you do when things are slower? Like if for day trading, you want to have a fast platform, because options trading, I'm talking about specifically about options trading about this. Options trading, you want to have a fast platform because you're going to go in and out of positions. Maybe you're scalping, maybe you're just looking for a 10, 20, 30% win. You're not looking to get all crazy. And in terms of the Robinhood, since it's not the fastest, you don't get the best pricing when the pricing, especially with high volatility stocks, like something, maybe some news came out or something and jacks the premium up and everything's going all crazy. Robinhood is not the first to update that. It kind of lags behind the others. I mean, you can do this yourself. Just open up Robinhood, open up another platform, and you can see that it definitely lags behind. Also, let's just go to SPY. If we go to options here, and let's just pick like the 305 calls here. Now, right now, the bid and the ask is pretty tight here, but on some of these stocks that they're not, so we have a 65 cent bid ask spread, which you're going to get filled at, most likely 65. You can put in 64 cents and you can probably get filled. But when things have, like, I noticed a 3-5 cent, 2 to 3 5 cent gap, Robinhood doesn't get the best fills. So, kind of my strategy for Robinhood is, since I know it's not the fastest platform, is really just going low and slow. So what can you do going low and slow? Spreads is you're not going to get as much money. It's going to take longer to get there. However, you're more likely to get better pricing on spreads within Robinhood. Also, holding options for a longer period of time. So if you're going into a position, that you want to be in and out of in a few days, I think that's fine, or weeks or months. It's kind of like buying stock on Robinhood. You buy it, you forget it, and that's the way it is. On options, you can buy it, hold it for a couple of weeks. Let's say you want to buy calls on SPY for a month out or 2 weeks out. I think that is where Robinhood shines, and especially if you're doing like a lot of contracts. I know like Tastyworks caps the commissions at 10 contracts, but if you're trading a lot, let's say you wanted to trade Teva, for instance, a long term, I don't see any problem other than Robinhood support's not the best. But if you wanted to trade Teva here and you're going like, okay, on the 1 month, wish they had bar charts on the web version, which they don't, but let's say, I think this is going to hit $10. You can definitely go out to, like, let's say December and buy the 10 calls, or let's say you wanted to buy January even. You go out there, buy the 10 calls on these in January. So buying and holding, I think buying and holding is where Robinhood really shines, and coming up with a plan and executing it on Robinhood, I don't think is bad. I mean, I don't think that they do have a lot of issues in terms of their platform, so I wouldn't go about risking a lot of money. As you can see here, I'm trading with a very, very small account. Today's going pretty well, but the money that I made today was stocks, was options that I've held over the last few days. It wasn't anything that I wasn't day trading. It wasn't anything special. So, and I think that goes into a lot of things, as well in terms of trading. Coming up with a well-developed plan, executing that plan, and then also defending your positions and sticking to what the core belief was. If that core belief changes, obviously you're going to want to change your positions, exit your positions, or put on opposing positions to kind of protect those. And maybe you put a trade on and you still believed in that trade, you still believe it's going to happen, however now it's going against you. You can easily, let's say I bought calls on SPY and it started to go against me, but they're like for a week or 2 weeks out or a month out, whatever, and I think like, oh well, in the next 3 or 4 days, SPY appears to be downtrending, I think it's going to go down. You can easily, with Robinhood, buy puts to defend those positions and then leave the calls alone, whether you want to average them down, whatever you want to do. But I think it doesn't have to necessarily be with Robinhood, but developing a plan and executing the plan, I think, is core to making consistent profits, not only on Robinhood, but as an options trader in general. I think that where Robinhood is best is if you're trading a lot of contracts, if you're trading slow and low, and if you're just trying to learn. Like if you're just trying to learn the market, Robinhood's not bad. You're just not going to be like jumping out of trades, because that costs you money. I mean, I was doing some day trades on Robinhood, and it really was a bad experience, because you have to, let's say the order doesn't fill, you have to replace, and it cancels the order, and it does it like a lot slower than other platforms. So like as pricing is moving and things are going crazy, for day trading, you want to have the fastest platform possible, and I think that is Thinkorswim, and I think that is Tastyworks. But for Robinhood, you want to think more long term, like what is SPY going to do this week? What is Google going to do this week? What is Amazon's going to do this week? And then pick the strategy for that scenario. So let's say these stocks have a pretty cheap IV. You want to trade Amazon, so then you go a debit spread. Let's say Apple earnings are going to happen, and you want to trade it, and you're going to buy and hold, and you want to do an iron condor. I mean, that's fine. Stuff like that. Obviously, like if you're doing an iron condor, you kind of have to piece it together pretty low and slow. So if you're gonna do an iron condor, you're gonna have to, because Robinhood doesn't allow you to. I don't know why that's blank there. Robinhood doesn't allow you to like quickly do strategies. So let's say I'm gonna do the calls here. Let's say I'll put on an iron condor. It takes a while, as you can see, to actually put this on, and I obviously I know what I'm doing here, and it's taking a while to put this on. So let me go to the put side here. So we're gonna let's just sell or buy the. So as you can see, I put an iron condor on here. But the thing is, if you want to change this, I mean, you could change it, but there's no like drag and drop. So everything from order execution to coming up with complex strategies and working through them, like with iron condors and stuff like that, it just takes a longer time on Robinhood. And yeah, I could probably get filled on this. Let's see, and this bid ask is a little bit wide. And this was kind of what I was talking about, where Apple is very liquid. I mean, however the strikes I may be trading are not as liquid. The other thing, it takes you can't see the volume. It would be nice if you could see the volume right on here. You can't. You have to like click on each one, get the volume, click on each strike, get the volume. So that's not very nice. They definitely should add volume over here, even more so than to break even. In my opinion, the break even pricing on here doesn't really. I mean, I get it, but it doesn't really help you. They should be. I would prefer volume, delta, and theta, and those kind of numbers in here versus the break-even price, because you could figure out what your break-even price is off of those. And I know that they try to make it easier, but everything in here, it just takes longer. So, definitely be mindful of that. And it does recognize the complex strategies like this, but it does take time to put together. So, if you want to trade these strategies, I mean, definitely take your time. Definitely think of a plan, and if you're going to try to get filled on this, I mean, you're going to have to play around with it. I always try to like lowball it. So if it's 69, I'll just put in like 71. Try to get, sometimes you get filled. Sometimes Robinhood does give you okay pricing, but usually they make you go a penny or two above what you think is going to get filled. So if you even if I try like mid price, so mid price on this is 72, I'm probably going to go like 73, 74, and then try to get filled on that. And they're going to have me go closer to the ask. I just noticed that as a trend after using Robinhood for quite some time. But I don't trade on there consistently. I trade on Tastyworks and Thinkorswim, and Robinhood's more of an account just with a small account, kind of doing like small account challenges and trying to grow that account that way. And what's worked for me on Robinhood is coming with a plan, holding. Robinhood is a very buy and hold platform. So definitely hope this helps you if you're struggling with Robinhood. It may not be you, it may be the platform, maybe the strategies that you're putting in there. If this video was of value to you, please hit the like button and leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know how you guys are using Robinhood, because we're all using different platforms differently because we all have different strategies. So in the end, it's us versus herd.